gathering the flock, getting there with no directions. Underneath the arch, turned into a march. There he found the spark to set this fucker off. Set it off now, children. Set it right. Set it off now, children. Alright, set it off now, children. Set a fire. Set it off now, children. Suddenly a shot ripped into his heart, and he lay in need of some attention. There he played his card, going near the shark. The last thing that he said was, set this fucker off. Set it off now, children. Set a fire. Set it off now, children. Alright, set it off now, children. Set a fire. Set it off now, children. Alright, 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 alright. Jesus at the back door, everything is alright. All we need is some direction. Every time the wind blows, everything you don't know turns into a revelation. And it all adds up inside your head. Time is wasting. Set it off now, children. Set it right. Set it off now, children. Alright, set it off now, children. Set a fire. Set it off now, children. No right. No right. All right. No right. All right. No right. Ooh. Not bad. My name's Gravity Groove. Welcome to Not Safe for Work Magic. Today we're going to be playing a little bit of just sort of a variety thing here. We are not whales, folks. As someone who just kind of streams for fun, there have been not a ton of donations, not a lot of financing for what I do, so I am forced to play with a less than ideal, a less than complete card pool, which means a lot of the things that I am playing are just not really complete. I haven't seen any Golgari shells out there while I've been playing in Standard. This obviously is not ideal, and I'm sort of curious about what the ideal build for Golgari is. I don't know if there's a lot of consensus out there, but being that we have a lot of one-ofs and two-ofs and small pieces, because again, we're on a budget, we're just going to kind of goof around with this concept a little today and see if anything feels good. We do have 4 questing beasts. They are not in the main. I'm uncertain how prevalent Planeswalker strategies really are right now. Hopefully the let's just make this a 4 of. We're more likely to need the 1/1 Death Touch in the aggro matchup than a 2/2 that can't block to potentially get back 1 creature. There's enough value built in this deck that that's unnecessary. Between the Lovestruck and the Foulmire and the Edgekeeper, we should have a decent early game between Scavenging Ooze and our 2 Great Henges. If we had more Great Henges, we'd run them. I think you should run 3 in a deck like this, maybe even 4. It is a really, really powerful card that does shift the game in your favor pretty dramatically. So we're just going to give this a shot. We do have 22 regular lands, and then 1, 2, 3. I believe we have 26 lands. I believe. Let's double check that. We got 1 spell land, 2 spell land, 3, 4 spell land, and then 22 regular land. Yeah, so 26 land, which should be adequate. I could easily see adding another land, but I'm uncertain what I would cut. This is a total mess, by the way. If you've got the black-green duels, obviously play them. We don't, so we've got some triomes in here filling that gap. Unfortunately, all the decks we want to play require a pretty significant investment in this client. Like, I'd really like to try the Naya Fling deck. It looks like a lot of fun. We are missing about 13 or 14 rares, and I think just the dragons for mythics, which we have the mythics for those. The problem is we don't have all the rares for all of the dual lands and other things we would need, which is a bit of a bummer. I'd also like to try some of the Jund strategies I've seen that involve Vorinclex and basically breaking sagas. Those all look pretty fun, and some of the Jund variations that I've seen early in the format haven't really been explored, and they kind of can go off, and they get to play Binding, which I think Binding is just a great card. I like Binding. I haven't played Binding yet at all, so we're going to see how that goes. We're just going to play some unranked games because I don't know what I'm doing with this pile, and see how it feels. We are on, I believe, day 15 of our recovery. I sneezed yesterday, and it felt like someone plunged a hot knife into my abdomen. So I know we're really coming along swimmingly. We have the option to play this on 1 or to just temple. We're probably just going to temple. This could be cycling. This could be rogues. Probably rogues. Probably rogues. Yep. Double mill does help our Pelucranos. Probably going to go for Binding on that next turn. Yeah, we're definitely going to go for Binding on that next turn. We're going to be milled out very, very, very quickly. I guess we could go for Murderous Rider too. So traditionally this deck runs just Saw It Coming. Sometimes they run Negate. We're just going to give this a shot. They do also have Drown in a lock. That could have been an option, but that check basically made it seem like they don't have access to that. Still haven't found our Paluprinos. Sure. Okay. All we've really got is 4 Duresses out of the sideboard for this matchup. We also have our Skyclaves. I mean, that could be enough. We're not really applying enough pressure fast enough here to feel like this is a good result. We do have potentially this if this last spell isn't a counterspell. But I think it's safer to go for this and then have this as backup. Sure. So he doesn't have a counterspell here. He could have a counterspell next. He still hasn't put this in hand. Oh, we should have cast that as a punt. Can put that in hand, recast the crab. Can't afford to. Okay, so none of these plays are very good. We can play Paluprinos. We have 7 mana, which is not enough to... Oh no, it is enough to play and activate. That's probably good enough then. That's probably good enough then. Attack with this. Paluprinos. If his last card is Mystic, he might as well use it. It takes us off of the activation. Okay, so now we have Murderous Rider. We can hard cast, which I guess is what we're doing. Really didn't think that was a counterspell based on him letting the rune crab get killed. Oh, he's short of... Oh no, he's got it. Huh. Okay, so we know he has no counterspell here. We drew another Paluprinos, but we can just draw this bad boy. And that makes Great Henge cost practically nothing. Do we have enough for that? Oh no, we're 1 mana short, aren't we? We've got 7. We need 8. We'll just go for the Polukranos play again. I heard me out at my door. Sure. Looking pretty close here. You could easily just like have Into the Story and draw a bajillion cards. We kind of got him slightly in with Polukranos. So he can cast his Ruin. We get to eat this. We can eat the Rune Crab next turn. Wow. Well, that's probably game done. Out of all the cards in his deck, which there are 42 left, he's drawn into 3 Rune Crabs. Pretty unlikely we can win from here. So one of these. Destroy. One of these. Destroy. It's unfortunate we missed so many lands. If we had more lands enough to be able to like Polukranos Plus, it's actually great. If we had enough to Polukranos Plus activate him, that would be pretty spectacular. Okay. And we now have 9, I believe. Cool. So Duresses come in. The Blood Chief's Thirst comes in. Skyclave comes in. Elspeth's Nightmare. Kills the crabs and what? The crabs, the merfolk. I'm not sure Nightmare helps. I don't know if it targets enough. Scavenging Ooze is probably fine. Rankle seems good. Binding seems a little slow. Vivian seems a lot slow. This doesn't really target anything. And again, too expensive. We just want to trim down some of the expensive spells. Maybe this package is just a little less useful. This seems okay. Just removing some of the more expensive things to cast. We have Murder Strider. We're not as reliant on Binding of the Old Gods. It's more there for matchups where we're facing a diverse amount of threats, like artifacts and enchantments. This is not a great hand. But we've got 2 scries, so I think I'm willing to risk it. Sure. I guess scries don't really do anything in this matchup. He milled 2 lands, that's fine. Edgewall Innkeeper. Out of 10, he's flashing in the flyer here. Oh, that's good for us. Hitting an untapped land on the next draw would be pretty great. No, it doesn't matter. I mean, our choice to sequence this way. Is this hand just all counter magic? All counter magic and removal. Probably brought Klings in for a Pelucranos. Sure. I guess black is more needed right now. So whatever we cast is going to get countered, like 100%. Maybe we just don't cast anything and Murder Strider something next turn. Doesn't cost us a lot of equity. Sure. So now we'll see if we can get him to use one of his counter spells to leave us an opening. Yep. It's still not ideal, because he does have Loris in future. But, you know, we make do with what we have. So this will give us 7 mana. We can Pelucranos activate, and it'll become untapped. There goes our Heartless. We're actually really losing on a damage race right now. I suppose it's not that surprising, being that he got to go first. Sure. So now we can... Love-struck beast, eat something. Seems fine. Hit a lot of our removal, which is unfortunate. Sure. That gets him out of counter magic range, though. That's totally okay. Unless he has drowned in the lock. We could swing this and force a sacrifice, which seems fine. Like, it's not going to stop him from attacking either way. And now we need to protect our life total. Defensive rankle isn't where you want to be, but him having to play likely means we're just dead here. Did not expect him to have another counterspell. If he has, like, another piece of removal here, we're probably done for. An untapped land means we can recur Pelucranos and... Okay. We did not hit an untapped land. We did hit a creature, which we will be happy to sacrifice to the rankle trigger. Uh-huh. So even if he counters this, that's fine. Into the story. Pretty scary. We should have swung with Love-struck Beast there too. You could pay 4 to use Blood Chiefs. You could Drowned in Lock. I don't think he can Lull Mage this, can he? Okay. Living off the top. One, two, three, four. We still need one more land for activate Pelucranos Bite. Could flash in the Death Toucher. Sure. We're pretty unfavored here, but I'm all about the life gain. Infinite cards, pretty good. Okay. You need an answer to Pelucranos. Yeah, it's pretty good. Definitely need some card advantage. Maybe we should have brought in the Nightmares just to stop the Loris shenanigans, but seems like most of the time he's only getting to Loris once. So, fight. Fight. Destroy. Peek. Stop that bullshit. Feeling like our position's fairly strong now. Feeling like it's fairly strong now. Yep. Bye-bye. It's an interesting matchup. That's a pretty interesting matchup. Alright, let's try one more. I like the Rogues deck mostly because it's full of old cards that I already have. The Naya deck does look fun though. Both of the versions of Naya. The one I saw Reed Duke play, which is just like Naya Adventures, straight up. And the Naya combo deck also looks quite fun. I guess? I don't know. We got all these stupid clunky lands in here, so we're like just Clunk City. We want to be casting stuff on turn one, but most of the time we're not. Because of the clunkiness of our deck. Oof, we're flooding a lot. Probably should have played one of these, honestly. Okay, I guess we're slow enough. We're just gonna try to do this for card draw. Good lord. Remember, that's 22 lands and 4 spell lands. This is kind of bad. This is, okay, Sultai something. So we have access to Mauling or Murder Strider. We'll probably maul this turn. Him being at 5 mana could mean any number of scary things. If it's a Planeswalker, obviously, we can Murder Strider it. Some sort of snow pile. Come on, buddy. Come on, what do you got? Chariot. That's about an awkward thing as he could draw. Chariot. This counts as a swamp, right? Yeah, okay. Before we mega punt. Not even gonna bother swinging. Just gonna put out the Elder. Our opponent's in kill colors, so it's probably not gonna last. Yep. Pretty much what we expected. Because our draw here is so bad, we're probably just dead. Not a lot of draws, I feel like, change the complexion of this game. Mono Murder Striders. Mono Murder Striders definitely does not do it. Colors this guy? Oh, because of this, he's all colors. Sure. Get rid of that. I'll probably just cast another one. We are not really set up to deal with decks that go wide. Sure. We have 7 mana, but we can't really let this thing live, so we have 6 mana. We don't even have 7. A lot less of a choice that needs to be made here. We could have had 7. Man, if we had had 4 swamps this whole time, this would have been so much better. Which we easily could have if one of these was a one of the dual lands, the flip lands. So opponent is just a big dirtily control deck. We want to bring in Skyclaves. We've seen Visionaries and Tokens. We might want to bring in Elspeth's Nightmare. That's the worst land we could have drawn. Yeah, I mean just the worst land we could have drawn, right? So we want Duresses, we want Skyclave, we want Masked Vandal. I don't think we want the Edgewall package as much. Probably keep a couple Blood. We can cut the Blood Chiefs. We didn't really see anything worth killing with Blood Chiefs. We've got a Vandal and a Kolga and the Binding. Maybe Vandal's overkill, honestly. We just drew pretty poorly, I think. Make some trims. I'd like to fit one Nightmare in here. Because as a control deck, just being able to have another discard tool seems nice. Huh. We've got turn 2 Lovestruck Beast, potentially turn 3 Skyclave. We need to hit a land for this hand to do much of anything. But if it does, it'll be a decent aggressive start. I'm going to risk it, even though it's probably a bad call. Because this isn't ranked, and who gives a shit, really? Also, to be upside if we were to hit an untapped land there, it would have been pretty good. Still potential upside of an untapped land. Okay, so we put the counterspell in. Saw it coming is just 10 out of 10 what he has. Just almost no other thing that could be under there. So we want to play with that in mind. I think I'm fine with him counterspelling the Lovestruck Beast. Sure. That gives us, I guess, the opening to Rankle. We've got double green, so we tend to need a little more black mana. We'll lose our Henge, which sucks a lot. We're going to do this just because we want him to take the damage, I think. One day we'll get to cast that card. Sure. Okay. So I think we've got him in a good position here. If he has a board wipe, we're kind of hosed, but I think a board wipe is all that gets him out of this. That went okay. That went okay. So again, we have a fairly risky keep, but we're going to have the advantage of being on the draw and having a scry. It's probably okay. Got multiple good potential turn 2 plays. Wow, triple Temple of Melody. Good shuffling there, Wizards. There goes our Skyclave, I assume. So if he passes with mana open, I cannot Nightmare the God because he can just transform it. We can, however, just try to cast this. Sure. That's really, really good. feel like we're losing this one, folks. So we're losing Nightmare or Heartless Act next turn. We might as well just do this. Recast our dude. Interesting. What do we care about him countering? We don't really care about him countering Pelucranos because we just get it back. Yeah, let's go with Skyclave then. I mean, actually, if he countered it there, we wouldn't get it back, right? Because Nightmare. Sure. Really got that Nightmare value on us both games. Just got to cast it before we did. The sequencing just worked out perfectly for him. Gives the 3/1, protects his card from our Espo's Nightmare, forced us to use the less efficient option. I think leaving the bite up here is fine. Yeah. Okay. Just about any creature but Gargaroth here, we can force them to sack with Rankle. So of course that's what he has. We are completely out of gas.
We were born for the hunt.
Okay.
Survive this.
I guess I could have attacked to their face with this. I really wasn't thinking about that. I forgot that this doesn't trigger if you hit a Planeswalker, not a player. My thought behind using Heartless was that I could make them discard their last card. Sure. Just slowly moving towards Pelucranos. Let's see, we've got not enough mana to matter. That's unfortunate. They're both 4s. top deck.
To my whispers and
I think the play is bouncing the 1/1.
him.
That is definitely not the play, my friend.
You will feel inspired.
It's a pretty weak draw. So now even if he makes a blocker, he also needs a removal spell.
The shadows awaken.
So he can make this indestructible. Which I think just means we're fucked. He made 3 blockers in 1 turn. It's pretty much the only way he could have got out of this. This can't bite a planeswalker, can it? Nope. Yeah, that's game. Good top deck. Man, he top decked Ashiok and then immediately Coma. Like, okay. Alright, folks. That's going to be it for today. We had some casual goofing around with Golgari. Please feel free to tell me what kind of Golgari construction you think makes the most sense. We do have 4 Lovestruck Beasts and 4 Questing Beasts, so we could at least go back to that core, which makes a little more sense to me. Like in that scenario, we were really struggling. If we had a haste creature, maybe we could have finished it before it got to that point. My name is Gravity Groove. Thank you for hanging out for Not Safe for Work Magic. There's a lot of cool content out there that you could be watching, and I really appreciate that you decided to spend a little of your time here. If you can please comment below anything. You can comment Golgari. You can comment what watch you are wearing in a world where you would wear a watch. You can comment on what shoes you're wearing, on the color of your hair, on the size of your wallet. All these things would help the algorithm and help me out without costing you a dime. So feel free to do those things. If you do, that's great. I appreciate you. And thanks for hanging out. I hope to see you next time. Boom.